So this is absolutely wild, but it's not shocking one bit. In my last video, I had spoken about how I noticed news and media as of February have been really in overdrive confirming biblical events. Anywhere from the Nephilim to Noah to the crucifixion of Jesus, and I asked you all the question, why are they doing this? Why is the news and media, which is owned by the three-letter organization, the CIA, that runs non-stop psyops on the public, doing this? This person left a great comment, which I pinned. They have to validate the Bible to introduce a false Messiah, which is so true. They're going to go ahead and usher in their God, which we will consider to be the Antichrist. And in that video, I said that I do personally believe that AI is the Antichrist. I gave multiple examples, and not only that, Joe Rogan saying how Jesus Christ will return as AI, and I also said that these really are not Joe Rogan's words, but the words of the tech giants like Peter the Reptile Phil that have been in his ear. Then a couple days later, I had gotten a notification that a really good channel had uploaded Dabu77, and the title of his video was End Times, US Troops Were Told Iran War is for Sparking Armageddon, the Return of Jesus Christ. This is exactly what news and media was doing. They were hyping up and confirming biblical events in rapid succession to introduce this false Messiah that now the government says is coming. Continue to read this article here. It says a combat unit commander told non-commissioned officers at a briefing Monday that the Iran war is part of God's plan and that President Donald Trump was anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon and mark his return to Earth, according to a complaint by a non-commissioned officer. But apparently it wasn't one or two officers. From Saturday morning through Monday night, more than 110 similar complaints about commanders in every branch of the military have been logged by the Military Religious Freedom Foundation. The complaints came from more than 40 different units spread across at least 30 military installations. One complainant identified themselves as a non-commissioned officer in NCO. The NCO wrote to the MRFF that their commander, and quoting the NCO, urged us to tell our troops that this was all part of God's divine plan, and he specifically referenced numerous citations out of the book of Revelation, referring to Armageddon and the imminent return of Jesus Christ. And again, what's being spread by news, media, and the three-letter organizations that own and operate them, it really goes hand in hand with what the military is saying. But what they're ushering in is not Jesus Christ. It's their Messiah, the false Messiah, the one that they're going to have unite all the governments around the world, this 2030 agenda. Even before all this, they put it in our face what they were doing with the whole Genesis mission with Bezos' Project Prometheus. Prometheus and Genesis pretty much mirror each other, where Prometheus and Genesis talk all about creation and the fall of man. This Genesis and this Prometheus is all about AI, the creation of AI. The Genesis mission is the brain, the framework, while Project Prometheus is the body. They are applying AI to the actual robot body. They even have the Oak Ridge National Laboratory on board with the whole Genesis mission, which is nothing more than CERN. It's CERN in the United States. This is all coincidentally coming at a time when ITER or ITER is about to be completed. 33 nations coming together, Russia, China, the United States, the enemies, to build what they are saying, a star on Earth. So it's pretty much all hands on deck for this false Messiah that they are ushering in. And as they're coming to completion and as we're getting closer and closer to the 2030 agenda, isn't it just interesting that big media and the government, they're getting more and more spiritual, even to the point they are now calling quote unquote aliens demons and angels. When was the last time you've heard anybody in the government suggest that these quote-unquote aliens may be coming from another planet? They're constantly talking about how they're interdimensional. As this conflict gets worse, as more countries get involved, and especially after this whole alien disclosure, we'll probably see these entities, these fallen ones, these demons, start appearing more and more on camera around these conflict sites. This will all play into their Armageddon ushering in their false Messiah agenda. It's just so obvious what's going on here. But they are also talking a lot about peace lately, the Board of Peace. Then I saw this eerie article from the Jerusalem Post that came out 2 days ago. President Trump, savior of Israel, may God bless you and your descendants. The decisive actions of President Trump together with Israel will bring peace, stability, and prosperity for the people of the Middle East and freedom for the people of Iran. And since we're talking biblical, the only one to be the savior of Israel is Jesus Christ. Anybody talking about peace before then, peace and prosperity, would be bringing false peace. But look at this very telling interview with Netanyahu, and while you think all this peace talk is a very good thing, peace and security, then sudden destruction will come upon them. This peace is a false peace presented by their Messiah.
Act to liberate themselves, free themselves from the yoke of this terror machine, you get a different future. I think that will open up the way for many peace treaties with other Arab countries, with Muslim countries. I think it changes the world. Now, of course, it's up to the people of Iran in the final count to change the government. But we are creating, America and Israel together are creating the conditions for them to do so. I think that if we go through what we plan to do, I think it will create conditions for peace. This is not an endless war. This is, in fact, something that will usher in an era of peace that we haven't even dreamed of.
A path for peace.
Yeah, well, I think Saudi Arabia will have a lot to gain. I think all these countries around Iran are threatened by Iran. I think they want to see this regime go down, even if they don't publicly say that. They've just been targeted by Iran. So obviously, if Iran is removed, that's a great boon to Saudi Arabia, a great boon to these other countries. And I think peace between Israel and Saudi Arabia would be really possible and probably very close once this thing happens. So this is a gateway for peace, for a broader peace, and I believe that we can achieve it. The most important thing to understand is that when we work together, President Trump and I, we achieved, in fact, 4 breakthroughs for peace, brokered by President Trump, working together with me. We brought forward the Abraham Accords, which was 4 peace treaties with 4 Arab countries. And now, working together against Iran, we'll be able to bring many, many more peace treaties. So this is not an endless war. This is a gateway to peace. It's the exact opposite of what people are saying.
Now, I lost count how many times he said peace, and I actually had to edit out these segments. It was a lot longer. I wanted to make it shorter for the video, but the gateway to peace, the plan, ushering in, it all seems like they are following a script, and they're bringing the military into the script. This peace he is spouting is a superficial false peace that will be broken halfway through. They are doing all they can to fulfill prophecy to usher in their AI Antichrist. And yes, I strongly do think the Antichrist is AI. In its own sick, twisted way, it can see everything, it can hear everything, it can even see through walls with Wi-Fi. And on top of all this, they want us to be one with it. Take a look at this video coming from the godfather of AI and where he sees humanity is going to be with AI come 2033.
We will connect wirelessly our neocortex to the cloud.
This is with nanobots that
Exactly.
that enter your neocortex.
Right.
This is your prediction. For when? When is that? Just right now.
Well, June 2033.
Yeah.
We will connect.
During the 2030s, we're going to be able to enhance our own intelligence by bringing AI into ourselves. So it's not just going to be humans versus machines. They're going to be together, and we're going to be more advanced because we'll have AI inside us.
With all we're seeing going on in 2026 and between then and 2033, that is 7 years. The script is really playing out as they try to go ahead and fulfill prophecy. But moving on really quick, I did want to go ahead and talk about this. Check out this video. Now, this video came out about 4 years ago, and a lot of people still talk about the Denver airport and the very bizarre murals there. But have you ever seen the artwork at the Bank of America headquarters?
Glad you're back from vacation.
Thank you. Good morning, NY and Jason. So the Bank of America Corporate Center has been a staple in Charlotte since construction finished in 1992. The lobby down below is open to the public, and it has some art inside that people across the country are talking about. The Bank of America Corporate Center can be seen from miles away. Construction on the tower started in the early 90s and was the idea of Hugh McCall, who wanted a headquarters for Nations Bank.
He wanted to build a great city where people were happy and proud to do, to live and come move here from other places.
That's also the idea behind the art you see when you walk through the lobby doors. There are 3 panels of paintings 23 feet wide by 18 feet tall, painted by North Carolina artist Ben Long. The meaning behind the art is debatable among visitors, but experts say each panel has to do with Buddhist philosophy. What's not up for debate is the difficulty behind making the paintings come to life.
This is the very technique that Michelangelo used to complete his frescoes in the Sistine Chapel.
A team of masons and artists put plaster on the walls long before the first stroke of a paintbrush.
The walls have to be prepared with special plaster, and then the artist and his team will come in and work from drawings that the artist has done.
The drawings were then blown up and applied to the wall using scaffolding before painting could finally begin.
There's really sort of very little room for error in applying that.
Making these pieces of art all the more enjoyable for tourists and Queen City locals alike.
Now, I'm sure given the fact that it's a 4-year-old news segment, multiple channels have spoken and even probably broken down this artwork, but I still find it very interesting, especially given the fact that if you look in front of the artwork, the checkered board, which is connected directly to the Freemasons. Now, each of the artwork can definitely be broken down. It seems like a timeline of events going from left to right, but I do want to go ahead and talk about this one right here, the one on the very end. What really stood out to me was this woman trapped in this clear box, this box that looks like it's coming down from the sky. And while it does look like she's wearing a dress, it also looks like there's angel wings wrapped around her. Why I found this interesting was because this reminded me of the 2026 Winter Olympics opening ceremony, where we saw an angel and a woman doing this intimate dance inside this clear box. It was clearly a representation of the creation of the Nephilim. We can see the burning bush, the pyramid, but all of this is taking place during a total solar eclipse. But I also do want to talk about this blonde boy that's standing on this checkerboard, because he also reminds me of the blonde boy seen in the artwork inside the Denver airport, the same blonde boy that's holding a hammer and he's smashing a sword, and right behind him it says peace. There's a lot of connections that can be made between the artwork inside the Bank of America and the artwork in the Denver airport. The Denver airport even has the black hole sun. I'll be doing my own breakdown of this on my other channel, Seconds of Horror, again given the fact of how old this is. I also find this one here to be interesting too, the very first artwork, where it shows people with shovels and looks like some of them are even underground. But right here you can see a sleeping giant, another giant, a Nephilim. Very interesting stuff indeed, but I will again be touching on this on my other channel, Seconds of Horror, more than likely on Sunday. But in any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.